to give you a little background on the Tzolkin and the course programs. And this is going to be a short video, just an overview that you have an idea what to expect if you take the course. Just to give you a bit of a background, the Tzolkin is a very special astrology because most astrological systems have their view from the Earth towards the solar system. And the Tzolkin has the view from the galaxy on the solar system in which we are as the Earth. So connecting with the galactic cycles, we can broaden up our mind. I myself have been introduced to the Tzolkin about 20 years ago, and I was traveling through South America on a very spiritual journey, and ended up being 3 months in that place, which is called Casa Hunabku, and learned the Tzolkin there. And I was kind of confused to get to know that there are different ways to calculate it. But what really fascinated me was some descriptions that were very mysteriously just copied papers in some shelf of that place. And that was just, it fitted exactly what I was looking for, and it made so much sense. So with these bunch of papers, I continued traveling through South America, through Colombia and Venezuela, about 5 to 6 months more, calculating different people in different situations, and that kind of enriched my knowledge of the Tzolkin. The calculation that I am into it is from Jose Aguirre's. That is this guy. He was an anthropologist, and already his father was archaeologist, digging into the Mayan old cities out, and he became connected very much to some spirits that he was channeling to bring this calendar back to humanity. And if you learn how to calculate it, you will learn how to read a chart that can look like this. These are many different symbols, and if you give me this, you will be like an open book for me. If you learn the course, you will synchronize with the certain day cycles. You will be your life will be with time. You will align with time, and you won't have the feeling anymore that you are against time or time is against you. It's not anymore a fight with time, just you align with the waves of time, and you can go smoothly with the energies. I always compare this as the most easy and simple astrology that we have is when we look into the seasons. We have spring, we have summer, we have autumn, we have winter. It's a psychical way of looking into qualities of time, and it comes always the same, but always different. You will never know exactly what is going to happen, but you know that winter has a certain quality that is cold, and you can prepare yourself by just getting your skis, or you just have warm clothes and you don't go for swimming, but you do that on summer. So this is how you can flow with time on a very exact basis. You can read your monthly chart, you can year your chart of your year from one birthday to the next. You can even read a partner chart, which is based either of your love, could be even just calculating your family system to know about your family and your relationships in your family. Why are people like that, and why you feel in a certain way in front of some people? You can even have read a group chart. You can read groups from two, three, four, five, six, seven will be already a bit very complicated. Eight and nine and 10 is really very complex. But since the Tzolkin is a very concise and very precise tool, it enables us to read groups which other astrological systems don't. They can read maybe partner charts, which is already a bit mm, too complex, but the Tolkien has the power to read big groups and even know which constellation has which part in that group. So you can synchronize with the pulse of time. You get knowledge about the codes and the laws of the universe because the the universe is encoded in these archetypal structures. The Mayan calendar is not something that is only culturally available, but these symbols, for example, the warrior, we have the warrior all over the world, or the eagle, and so on. These are symbols that we find in every culture and they are deep in our collective unconscious. And by knowing this calendar, you can know much more about that. So, if you are a therapist, if you work with shamanic or with psychoanalytical tools, you will have like a very concise and a very good tool set to work with archetypes and make meaning out of relationships, of psychological patterns, but also about a structure of the universe that is encoded in these symbols. And these symbols look like this. This is on the left, Hunapku, which is the very basic structure, which is the four directions and a middle, which in every culture we have the minimal structure of four and the fifth one, which are the four elements or the four directions: east, north, south, west, fire, water, earth, and wind. And the middle is either ether or space. And these are the colors that are in the Tzolkin: the red, the blue, the yellow, and the white, and the green. And if you make this in the Tibetan tradition, we call that mandala. In the Tzolkin, we have here the five castles, which are a more precise way how to look into these five directions, into these five qualities, into these five elements. And each of these so called castles are 4 times 30 cycles, which are 52, and these are in total 260 combinations. This is a so called compass in which you can learn how to navigate through the Tzolkin without a digital device, but calculated with your hands, in your hands, And as we said, we have these castles, which are made up of a cycle of 13. The 13 tones, which are here on the right, are, for example, the first one is the magnetic one, which calls for the question, what is my purpose? Second one is the lunatic one, which is what are my obstacles? And the electric one is what is my action? And so on. And these are intertwined with the kins, which are 20. And these kins have between themselves different relationships. Some are just the opposite of the other, some are in the unconscious of the other, and some are kind of like friends of each other. And these 20 and 30 tones make up this whole structure of 260 symbols. For example, on the very left up there, where I have my cursor, we have the dragon with the first tone, the magnetic one. This is kind of like the beginning of the beginning in that left corner. And the next day, for example, is the wind with the lunatic tone, the second one. And the next day would be the third, the night on the left, the blue one. And each row goes from up to down and has a combined meaning of a kin and of a tone, which we find here on the very right side. Dragon stands, for example, for the primordial origin or the primordial trust. The wind stands for spirit and communication. And for example, for the tones, we also said, what is my purpose? What are my obstacles? Is also the question, what is the balance? So if we look this up, this goes down like this, and we have all the way. These are some charts that I calculated for a live video, so I'm going to skip that. So what's the course about? We have two types of course. One is the basic course and one is a complete course. If you want to learn the basics, how I just yeah presented it to you as the 20 kings and the 13 tones, that is what you are going to learn about the basic course. And this will enable you to use the Tzolkin for yourself, for your activities, to align with it in time, and to find out more about yourself and everybody else that you want to calculate its horoscope. If you want to make a complete course, you will synchronize yourself with these 13-day cycles while learning it. We will have reflections and meditations on the teachings. For example, if there would be a course unit of the ego, there is a meditation where you can kind of like zoom yourself out of your view, where you look yourself from above and you just zoom out like from Google Earth, zoom out and have this overview effect on your life. And as said before, you will learn how to make partner charts, group charts, how to read monthly charts, yearly charts, and how to use it in your profession. If you are a therapist, if you are an astrology of a different system, you will gain a lot of knowledge, not only for your patients, but also by understanding this system, you will understand any other system also much better because it will enrich the meaning of the interpretations of the symbol. If you are on a shamanic path, on a spiritual path, it will enable you to have a good structure to learn how to move from what you are and what you're lacking, what you're not feeling enough, what is difficult for you. It will enable you to give you a roadmap on how to move yourself through this lifetime to become a complete self, to become a full self, because the mind calendar is not something that tells you you are this and by that you're done. No, it tells you you came like this to the world and this is your path to enlightenment, to fulfillment, to your complete self. And that's why I love to teach the whole course because at the end, you are becoming the whole Tzolkin in yourself. You integrate it. And if you integrate it into your life, you will have like a very good toolkit. As I can say, it helped me through my spiritual path since over 20 years, always as a very solid structure to order everything of this archetypal meaning into this system. And if I do coaching or if I am planning some meetings or whatever, I look at the calendar and I know what timing might be the best or what dynamic between psychological issues or relationships are in place and how to transform them because Mindclan is about the transformation. So here we already said the learning material on the basic course are the recordings of the course and 33 pages that describe on one page each kin and each tone and the compass and about 250 pages which are on one hand these mysterious carpet papers that only came actually with an introduction that was channeled by someone, I think it was from Jose Aguirre's, and the beings channeled describe themselves as the extraterrestrial beings that want to give this calendar to humanity to actually have it as a tool as long as they need time for their development, for the spiritual development. And these pages that I found that were informed with this message, I enriched it with my 20 years of experiences of calculating and living with the cycles of 13 days over 20 years and how to also look into these interconnections of every kin to every other. It is a very life changing and enriching knowledge, which, if you have just a look every day, 5 minutes into it, you will have so much deep knowledge about the structure of the universe and the course of our spiritual development. And the last thing are the costs over here. The basic course is actually one weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 4 times, 2.5 hours by €400. If you want to make a basic course first and then you decide to do a complete course, then you pay 200 less of the complete course. And since the groups have been like sometimes small, sometimes big, I decided to do two different scales so that other people can invite people to make it more cheap. If we are less than four people, it's 1,400 euros for 20 times every 13 days for about an hour, usually a bit more, to keep on chatting. And these 20 times every 13 days will be according to the 13 days of the Tzolkin. And so we will have starting points at usually the dragon, the magnetic dragon, or just right in the middle of the magnetic monkey. And we will be together 260 days, just going through the cycles, and by that, learning on the way, by the day, about the kins and the tones and the relationships and everything else, how to calculate it, how to use it, how to not make yourself crazy about it, but also how to have a look into it from different points of view of time, and also how to navigate a profession with it, how to calculate and make interpretations for people to have actually also this as a profession. The very first one that comes to a complete course gets a first one discount of 1,111 euros, and the next three people then pay 1,200, 400, and if the fifth one arrives, everybody gets 200 euros refunded. So for 2025, the next course, the next complete course will be on March the 20th. You can reach out to me via my email, or this is my number for WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal. This is a very, very short introduction into the Tzolkin and my calendar and the upcoming course. I wish I have given you a bit of insight what you can expect, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.